What's the worst thing your family did while you were away? I was 20 when I decided to take a gap year in Canada. I got a job at this lumber company up north, making actual money for the first time. My parents thought I was crazy, but I needed space from our house. They were always screaming at each other about bills, work, whatever. The only thing that made me hesitate was leaving my little brother Jacob. He was 8, and honestly, he was the only good thing about our family. Kid was smart as hell, way smarter than me. He'd help me with my homework sometimes, which was embarrassing but also kind of sweet. Before I left, Jacob kept asking when I was coming back. I promised him it would only be a year, and I'd call every week. He made me pinky promise, which at 20 felt ridiculous, but I did it anyway. The first few months, everything was fine. I called every Sunday. Jacob would tell me about school, his friends, this new video game he wanted. My parents barely talked to me, which was actually kind of nice. Less drama. But then around month 8, Jacob started sounding different, quieter. When I asked what was wrong, he'd just say he was tired. My parents would grab the phone and cut the calls short, saying Jacob had homework or something. I figured it was just normal kid stuff. Maybe he was growing out of wanting to talk to his big brother every week. It hurt, but I got it. Then I came home. I walked into our house after 13 months away, expecting Jacob to tackle me like he always did when I came home from anywhere, but the house was quiet. Too quiet. My mom was in the kitchen making coffee like nothing happened. I asked where Jacob was. She didn't even look up. Oh, he's with the Hartley family now. Much better situation for him. I stared at her. What do you mean with the Hartley family? My dad came in, acting all casual. We placed him with some family friends upstate. Kid was struggling here, needed more attention than we could give him. They have resources. I felt like someone punched me in the stomach. You gave away my brother? My mom finally looked at me, annoyed. We didn't give him away. It's temporary. The Hartleys are good people. They have money. They can help him with school stuff. I asked why nobody told me. My dad shrugged. You were busy with your own life. Besides, what could you have done from Canada? That night, I called the Hartleys. Took me 3 hours to find their number. When I finally got through, this woman answered, sounding tired. I explained who I was. There was this long pause. Oh, honey, she said. Jacob talks about you constantly. He thinks you abandoned him too. My heart broke. I asked if I could talk to him. Another pause. He's been having nightmares. Doesn't trust adults much anymore. Maybe it's better if you just come here. I drove 8 hours the next morning. When I got to their house, Jacob was sitting in their living room, looking so much smaller than I remembered. When he saw me, he didn't run over. He just stared. You came back, he said quietly. I sat down next to him. Of course I came back. I promised. He looked at me with these big, sad eyes. Mom and Dad said you didn't want me around anymore. That's why you left. I wanted to kill my parents. Instead, I hugged my little brother and told him that was the biggest lie anyone ever told. Mrs. Hartley explained everything. My parents had dropped Jacob off 6 months ago, saying they were going through financial problems and couldn't handle a kid right now. They promised to visit every month. They never came. Not once. Jacob had been asking for me every single day. Mrs. Hartley didn't even know I existed until she found some old pictures in Jacob's backpack. I confronted my parents that night. My mom actually had the nerve to say, you can't expect us to handle everything while you're off playing adult in Canada. My dad nodded. We needed a break. Jacob's a good kid, but he's a lot of work. I realized right then that my parents were never going to change. They'd always be selfish people who saw their kids as burdens instead of responsibilities. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I called a lawyer. Turns out my parents had signed temporary custody papers with the Hartleys, but they'd never filed for permanent custody. And there was a paper trail of neglect going back years. Missed parent-teacher conferences. Skipped doctor appointments. Jacob's therapist had been trying to reach them for months. The custody hearing was brutal. Jacob had to talk to a judge about who he wanted to live with. This 8-year-old kid in a courtroom, having to choose his family. When the judge asked him, Jacob looked right at me and said, Ethan's the only one who actually wants me. I won custody 3 months later. My parents fought it, claiming I was too young, didn't have enough money, whatever. But the evidence was overwhelming. Jacob and I moved into a small apartment across town.